at 99.3 FM and K240EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM. Wherever you go, take us along. Listen to our live stream on our free Fanatic app. Download it today.
It's the weekend!
Warriors! Warriors come out to play!
Yeah, here we go!
You're live.
Good NFL Sunday morning, everybody. We're broadcasting live from the Weekend Warrior Studios in beautiful Peoria, Arizona. I'm Ralph Romano, not alongside my partner in crime, Neil Lynch. He is out of town in Minnesota, making people wish he'd leave. Instead, we've got our old friend Ben Walschlager. I said it right.
Nope.
Filling in for us.
Close enough.
Colts fan, but whatever. Yeah. Walschlager. He's like wool, like a sheep.
Walschlager.
Bah, Walschlager. Yeah. And we got our legend, Philip Amron, in the control room. And this is the Weekend Warriors NFL Sunday edition, week number 17. That's crazy.
Almost there.
Phil, week 17.
We are so freaking close. Yep. We can taste it.
I don't know what you're tasting, but I got week 17. Yep. And hey, we're all, join us on the text line 888-368-1580 if you want to be part of the show. We're also live streaming on X, on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. So we're everywhere. Almost.
Yeah. Almost. Close enough.
Close enough.
All the important ones.
All the important. So how are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We appreciate you helping us fill in for our mega smart co-host, Neil.
Yeah, thanks for texting me last night at midnight. Said, hey, by the way, you want to come in?
Yeah. By the way, hi. All right. So, there's been a lot going on. Usually usually what we do at this point, after Neil says his thing, and we all go, geez, we play a little ditty.
Okay.
You want to hear a little ditty?
I do.
Phil, can you play a little ditty?
Like sands through the hourglass, so are the games of last week.
You like that?
Little ditty about Jack and the weeks that were.
I know your mom's watching or listening. I know she knows that.
Yeah, I know. Hi, Mom.
She knows Days of Our Lives.
Yeah.
So we took that and twisted it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm sure his mom loves how you were able to just perfectly say both of their last names.
Walschlager.
Yep.
I'm not German.
No.
But you give him a Heineken, he might be.
No, I wouldn't drink Heineken. That's probably insulting to them.
Yeah, that's gross.
See? So, usually we talk about the games last week. I don't know that we should. I think there's been so much going on this week.
Yeah.
It's hard because week 16 feels so long away ago with all this week, but there are a few monumental ones.
Okay, you go.
I mean, before we move on,
you do.
As a people as a person of the flock that is Arizona Cardinals, as the speaker, as the Emperor de Cardinal that I am.
No, you're not.
Official representative here.
Official representative. I believe I've been crowned something. I've been given wings. I was able to be the only one, and I tried to bring you, Ralph. I tried to pull you along into this. Panthers win in overtime in what has to be amongst the most embarrassing losses. Cardinals have had a lot of those recently. But amongst the most embarrassing losses the Cardinals have suffered this season. My goodness! It came at the cost of Chuba Hubbard for the Panthers, but still worth it. And what is reportedly amongst the most quiet plane rides back home you've ever had to endure. Cardinals lose 30-36 in OT. That was monumental, guys. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time.
And what did I say last week would happen if this happened?
Oh, you said that Kyler Murray would be done.
Oh.
And since then, he's had 2 bad games.
We'll talk about that after the break because I'm pretty pissed about that because of what it does for my Seahawks. But anyway, I said it. If he can't go, I said if he can't go into Carolina against a 3-11 team and win a game they need to win, then what are we talking about here? Why is this guy here?
Well, I think we kind of saw that coming. I mean, look at the history of the Cardinals. If you're a Cardinals fan, I'm sorry about this, but it's those games. Every team wants to win, every game. But when it comes down to the Cardinals going, hey, guys, we really need to win this game. This is the game that we need to win. What do? They fold.
They fold like a cheap chair.
Yeah.
Right? I mean...
They win the meaningless games, but the games that they have to win, like we need it. Here's a playoff push. We have to win this one, or out, lose.
Yeah,
like it happens
This is consistent for 6 years now.
Yeah.
We have an 80-game sample. This guy's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's all him.
No.
It's not all him.
He's certainly emblematic of it, though. I mean, it'll be cheating if we go to this last night's game, I guess. But every single gosh darn time, it's just he's the tip of the spear, man. He does not do himself any favors of where you're right. It's not all him. But gosh darn it feels like it a lot of the darn time.
It does, and we'll get into more detail about Kyler because I want to talk about last night's game. We'll do that after the break. But
still speaking of last night, the week that was. Another one, Ralph. You bemoaned, you mocked, you
I don't
said
bemoan anything.
Yes, you did. You were bemoaning all over yourself on that Sunday night, and the Cowboys had an upset of the ages that I wish I knew somebody. Oh wait, I called that. So did Neil. Granted, come to him.
I called it. I have proof too.
Oh, he has proof. Yeah. Way to go. Way to join the cast and crew there. But Ralph, were you shocked? Were you upset watching that Sunday night football debacle, seeing old frog on a log Mike McCarthy just bumbling and stumbling his way to probably saving his job down in Big D?
I want to say that I was, but I didn't watch it.
No,
I really didn't. Yeah? I didn't watch the game, so I just looked at the score and went, crap, I'm going to hear this next week.
Yeah, I watched it only because I always have like an upset of the week type, so I watched
that. Was your upset of the week?
I watched those games. Like, I got to watch my upset, so I was happy about that.
I don't want to talk about that anymore, Phil.
Okay, what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the Saints-Packers game that was just horrendous? What do you want to talk about?
So on the text line, we have a text from Neho, which is Neil, because Neil just can't get away from us.
Yeah,
he can't. He needs us.
It says, "Good morning from Skull Country."
Oh, okay.
He goes, Ben's looking good.
Thank you.
He's got a little sexy to him, I have to admit.
I work out.
Phil is sexy as ever.
As ever. Thank you.
As ever. He's got that, I can't say.
Don't say it.
And Ralph, well, go Rams. So Neil, you're a jerk.
Rams.
I hope you're freezing your tail off up there, by the way. I really do. I hope it's
We miss you, Neil. We miss
really
you, buddy.
don't, dude.
No.
And if you don't come back next week, no problem.
Yeah, hopefully
No,
the plane gets
Neil.
grounded.
Get back here. As much as we love Ben, we want you back, Neil.
Well, at least one of us does. We also have Sports Girly on the text line.
Oh, hello. Good morning.
This is Phil's lady.
Oh, okay.
We confirmed it.
Okay.
Because we didn't believe him at
We didn't
first.
believe
We
it.
didn't believe anybody would like him, but
Sure,
we
yeah.
confirmed it. Oh, Ralph. You don't want to talk about how Jaden Daniels stunned with his performance last week in spite of being short.
I think she meant Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
She is short of stature herself. So whenever somebody yeah, she is. So she comes up to about you know how they have the term nipple quarterback. She comes to up to about my no. She comes up to about my nipple on as far as
So what is she, like 4'11"?
I've never heard that.
she's a nipple quarterback. Ben, that is a quarterback who is so pinpoint accurate that they can decide which nipple do you want to receive the ball at.
Okay, I'm afraid to Google it on my phone.
No, yeah, I don't know if you're.
I just did, and oh my God, you should see Phil in this picture.
Right.
But yeah, no, she's so with her own stature, she's a little more defensive about making fun of the Bryce Youngs of the world, the Baker Mayfields, even a little bit, the of course the Kyler Murrays. So yeah, it's
You mean
hard.
the toddler?
God, Ben, the one thing I don't besmirch Ralph on is that. God, when Kyler Murray does run, he does look like a toddler who got lost in Walmart, man. He does. He really does. I'm not gonna lie.
Girlie, you hear that? He's even saying that.
I can't deny it. Well, so that does bring us to last night. Do you want to start off with the Cardinals again, or do you want to go somewhere else?
I want to talk about the Cardinals after the break.
Okay, after the break. Sounds
So
good.
we have one more text. This is from Bitter Dolphin fan. So, Rich, good morning, Rich.
So we already know.
we know Rich. Rich is in LA. He's a huge fan of the show.
Hey, Rich.
This is what the show needs. More Germans. Rich is German.
Hey, all right.
That's right. We got Wolfschlager and Wieland.
Well,
Wieland?
talk to my manager, so we'll have to figure out a deal.
My manager. Rich Wieland. All right. Yeah, there's too many Germans around the show right now.
It's
There's
not
something going on
Wieland, it's
here.
Wieland.
It's a Wieland?
It's Wieland.
Wieland.
So it's not Wolfschlager, it's Wolfschlager.
It's Wurschlager.
Rich, is he right? I only trust you. I've known you for so many years. I've known Rich for a long time, so I trust Rich.
Yeah,
I don't trust you.
Yeah, Rich, am I right about my last name?
No, actually, there could be a difference. Pronunciation is key. So, I mean, if it's kind of like the debate about the Kelsey brothers, right? Everybody pronounces it Kelsey. They themselves pronounce it Kelsey, but apparently, correctly, it's supposed to be the Kels brothers, but again, it's how they pronounce it. So it's one of those things where you can mispronounce your own name, and that's your name, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the true German pronunciation of it. So we do need Ralph to go to the text line and make sure that Dolphins fan does give us the correct pronunciation.
It's a credible source.
Rich is a
He's an aficionado on all things German.
We also have a chat on X. This has nothing to do with football.
Perfect.
Oh.
It says Warriors held Kevin Durant to 8 turnovers last night. Key to their win.
I don't think one holds.
Okay.
I don't think one holds somebody to 8 turn. I think they make, but generate.
Shannon Steve sent that in. Shannon Steve, we're talking NFL, but okay.
But thank you for joining
But
the
since
show.
you did go off topic, Shannon Steve, I'm going to go off topic for a second.
Oh.
I want to talk about, real quick, because I know we could go into more games, but I can't get this out of my head. Every year now, I have this new favorite college bowl game. It's the Pop-Tart Bowl.
The Pop-Tart Bowl is
yeah.
fantastic.
And the favorite part of the Pop-Tart Bowl is after the game.
It's not even.
Yeah.
The big toaster's there.
Yes.
And the Pop-Tart has to go into the toaster.
Yeah.
And it's trembling.
He's trembling. So yesterday, the cinnamon Pop-Tart went up there because that was the favorite.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's trembling as he's going down, and all of a sudden, when you see he's in the bottom and it's all red there because of
You're the toaster.
he starts shaking like he's burning up. And then
He's hilarious.
He comes out on a tray, and they start eating him. My
awesome.
favorite ever bowl moment.
Have you seen the trophy?
No, I have not. Well, yeah, I have, but I don't remember what it looks like.
It's an actual working toaster.
Is it really?
like a football? I think it's like a football, but then like they put 2 Pop-Tarts in there. It's an actual working toaster for the
wow,
trophy.
that's actually pretty cool.
Imagine plugging your championship trophy in for breakfast in the morning.
Pop-Tarts got the notice. See, I have a love-hate relationship with the bowl games. I absolutely hated the old bowl format. I thought it was so stupid that I gave a 2-bit Sally over the TurboTax bowl with BYU and beef jerky state. Nobody gave 2 hoots. But I completely miss, and I love it when a good bowl game has a shtick, and they hit that shtick, and they hit it hard, baby. I love me a good, Tony the Tiger Bowl. I love me a good Gronk Bowl. I love me a good Pop-Tarts Bowl. And I love it. Just make sure if you have a thing, if you have a shtick and that's your thing, go fully out. Amen to you, Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Yeah,
you
I
made
agree.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made it your own, and you understood the assignment.
Yeah, I like
Way
that.
to go.
I like that because they know, hey, we're not the big bowl that everyone's gonna be, watching and care about.
No,
so let's just have fun with it.
And they do.
They have fun with it, and now everyone's engaged.
I love it.
Their mascots on the side were well. They this year they upped the ante by making the field goal post. They wrapped it with Pop-Tart, wrapping, aluminum wrapping. That
sidelines?
So the sidelines were sprinkles. It was
Sprinkles.
Yeah, I'm now looking forward to next year. I will remember this. I will plug it somewhere deep in the recesses of my brain, and I will say, "Oh, you know what? The Pop-Tart Bowl I really enjoyed last year, and it brought the assignment. You know what I won't? The Alamo Bowl. Well, nothing's gonna be stuck in there. I'll be like, oh yeah, Jackson State and Liberty are gonna be together there in the Liberty Bowl. Who cares? Who cares?
They need to have the national championship game be the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Pop-Tarts really running up the ranks of
At least the
actual bowls I care
semifinal
about.
would be good.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I love the Pop-Tart Bowl. Anyway, and they had 3 Pop-Tarts this year.
They did. They up next year. They're gonna have a Pop-Tart baby live on air, and then that's their brand announcement of expanding into Oreo Pop-Tart if such a thing doesn't
Did you see
exist.
the
already.
Miami mascot biting on the Pop-Tart?
Yes, I did. Yes, that was incredible. That was wonderful.
Love the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Yeah.
All right, I had to go there because
No, that was a great tangent, Ralph.
I just big Pop-Tart fan.
I see that.
Not wait. I can't eat them anymore.
Okay.
But when I was a kid, I ate a few 100,000 Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
Oh man, that and Lunchables.
Yeah.
Didn't eat Lunchables, but I was Pop-Tart like crazy. But thanks for showing. Yeah, I appreciate that you noticed that I looked like a Pop-Tart.
I didn't know if anyone would have got the little zinger.
This is why the camera stops here.
Yeah.
All right. The only other, I was thinking about some of the other games we had. We could talk about the Seattle Bear game. Did you watch that disaster?
Was that a baseball game or a soccer game?
Congratulations, Ralph.
No.
You and the Seahawks now hold a joint championship of the single worst win of the entire NFL season, paired only by the Eagles beating the Browns, the sorry Browns, and Nick Sirianni booing his own fans and just yelling at them. It's hard to tie that, but you guys found a way with the most deplorable, offensive, defensive performance. That was just awful to watch, to sit through.
It was awful.
That was not fun. Geno Smith dang near played himself out of a job that game. Caleb Williams was running for his life, and half of the times it was his own darn fault. And no points in the second half was deplorable. Yeah. Oh my God, what a slog!
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that somehow the Seahawks are alive and they needed it, and at least made like the number one game of Sunday this upcoming week. Like that's probably going to be the last game of the NFL regular season. Means something, but my God, what a way we got there. I mean, and also the Bears. Ralph, be honest with me. That was the ugliest win you've ever been able to puff your chest out about.
Oh, I didn't puff anything out about this win. It was horrible to watch. It was a horrible game. But this is the reason we need to stop Thursday Night Football. These teams are not ready on Thursday night. They come off a Sunday game. They barely have a chance to get ready. Now, granted, the conditions were bad and all that, but it doesn't matter. I mean,
doesn't matter.
You're just not. Some of the worst games we see all year, Thursday night.
Sure.
Every week.
Historically, yeah. But this season, there's been a few pretty, there's been some that have been pretty good.
Okay, Ben, get off the show, Ben.
I'm sorry.
Trying to make a point, damn it.
Yeah, you're not going along with it.
Can we go back in time and flex this game to like a Tuesday at 3 a.m. or something?
I just think they need to abolish the Thursday. And here's Blissful Hayes on chat. It says, good morning, Ralph, Phillip, and Ben.
Good morning.
Bears worst team in NFL history. I don't know about that.
I know.
No, there's actually
if we go back to
Lions team.
If we go
Buccaneers.
back, I mean, and even if we go back to Monday night, that Saints team was that may have been worse. I mean, I'm sure Neil was the only person ballyhooing and yipping and yaying over that performance. But anybody who's not a Packers fan, that Saints game was just awful to watch. It was possibly up there along with anything. That was an awful performance. And worst team of all time is certainly not this Bears team with the 4 wins and how it looked in the first quarter of the season. But it is bad. It's not. There's not much to defend there, but there is at least some defense that the Browns and the Lions did not have. My God.
I love when you see Caleb Williams when he was drafted telling the punter, "You're not going to have to punt this much this year." And then what they do on Thursday? Punt, 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 punt.
Yeah, that game was hard to watch, man. But again, the Saints have a lot of injuries. You got to give them a break. So
yeah,
all right, I know we're up against the break, but before we go to break, we have another text from Sports Girly.
Oh,
here we go.
Ralph, do you actually like Geno Smith, or do you have to be or do you have to as a Seahawks fan? Because that game made my eyes bleed. Now she's getting into it. I kind of like it.
Yeah,
she like it.
I'll tell you what, she has a lot of good comments here and there, but the one that she says that I don't know where this came from, but she was watching one of the primetime Seattle Seahawks games, Ralph, and she's looked at it and she's analyzed it, and she has deemed Geno Smith to not be a good leader. She says that she says that he pouts too much a little bit on the sidelines. She says that he has awful interception energy. This is her. I don't know where necessarily. I'm like, maybe you're not looking too much at the other quarterbacks when they throw an interception. They're pretty pouty, but she has dove in on Geno Smith not being a good quarterback. And I got to say, I mean, good quarterback, good leadership are two different things, but bad quarterback performance certainly reigned true on Thursday night.
Is she a Cardinals fan?
She's not. She hasn't taken a flag on where she wants to be. I mean, she will join with me on a rooting for the Broncos, but I don't think she hasn't declared a fandom yet.
Oh, okay. Sure.
This is like the first year that I'm getting her into football. Next year, I think we'll try and be like, baby, let's give you who do you want to root for? Like anybody but the Cowboys are up for grabs. Go ahead.
We're up against the break, so let's go to break. When we come back, I want to touch a little bit more on her text. I got some things to say. And then we'll catch up on the chat and any other text that we have. It's the Weekend Warriors Football Sunday right here on 1580 The Fanatic.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Live and local.
Sports bettors, we've all been there. You have a live bet lined up, you check the odds one more time, place the bet only to see the bet delayed by the spinny wheel, line move, and your bet rejected. My name's Alex Kane, and I'm the founder and CEO of SportTrade, Arizona's newest sports betting app. At the core of the SportTrade offering is our probability-based odds. In other words, the Cardinals may be offered at 55% odds to win, a lot simpler than minus 125. Place your bet at 55% odds, and as your win probability changes, so does the value of your bet, giving you the ability to cash out with total control. And the best part, no spinning wheels. Live bets on SportTrade are instantly accepted. Download Sports Rate on your iPhone today and use code 1580 to earn 10% cash back on every bet in your first week. Terms apply.
Sport Trade is regulated by the Arizona Department of Gaming. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
It's a key ingredient called Tesnor. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. Total T is backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text TIGER to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text TIGER to 42424. That's TIGER to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Hey guys, Jeffrey O'Brien here. Did you know Harman Solar has gone super high tech? There's an amazing tool at harmansolar.com that'll give you an instant ballpark solar estimate using satellites from space. You just type in a little information, and within seconds you'll have an idea of just how little money it takes to save big on that monthly electric bill. I did it, and within seconds they measured my roof and calculated my savings. It's very impressive. Go to harmansolar.com and give it a try yourself. That's harmansolar.com. Let's play Bet Your Life. It's the game show where you gamble not only your life, but those of your passengers and fellow drivers when you get behind the wheel after drinking.
If only it was just a game. It only takes one bad decision to change your life forever. Getting behind the wheel after you've been drinking is one of them. Don't play games that nobody can win. Drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by NHTSA.
So, what's your favorite thing about sports?
Here we go, Jen.
The excitement, the action, or the 5-meat pizza and the 6-pack? Bingo. That's what we thought. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
You're right.
The Weekend Warriors on 1580 The Fanatic.
How many times have you stripped to this song, Ralph?
I
Today?
can't discuss this. My wife
Today,
would be
yeah.
mad.
Ralph was a stripper at Denny's.
We have a chat from, this is actually Mr. Pringle, so I'm going to thank you, Mr. Pringle. It says, Ralph Nostradamus. That's a very good title. I like that. This is Mr. Pringle. I can't say that.
Say it.
It just says, tell something. I can't say it.
Spell it. Spell it. Spell it.
He's talking about Jeffrey, but he's saying, tell him Merry Christmas from him. It's just the way he calls Jeffrey. I can't say that. But
Those are the best times.
On that note.
Back to sports girly. Do I actually like Geno Smith?
That's a fair question, Ralph.
It's a good question.
Because Ralph is a diehard Seahawks fan no matter what.
Would I like to have Geno Smith instead of Russell Wilson? Of course not. Russell Wilson was a legend who's a Hall of Famer who took us to 2 Super Bowls. So, of course, I mean, Geno Smith is okay. I mean, he could be very good and very bad, right? It's hard to find a middle ground with him.
Yeah.
But when he's good, he's really good. He throws some dimes. He's a good leader on the field, I think. I don't think he pouts. I think he gets pissed. I don't think he pouts. There's a difference. Watch Kyler Murray on the bench and then watch Geno on the bench. Kyler's a pouter. He pouts a lot.
Sure.
That's why we call him toddler. He's a pouter. Right? Geno doesn't pout. He gets pissed, and he gets mad at himself because he feels like he's letting the team down. I like that. And he's a leader. You can see it in the locker room. I mean, there's a lot of things that I read about the Seahawks on the back end that Geno's definitely a leader in my mind. His problem is he's just this year, for whatever reason, he just likes to throw the pick. He's done it a lot this year. 15 picks. I mean,
and not even just like, end of halves Hail Mary pick that you're just heaving up there and you're hoping for a score before you go and its time runs out. These are like critical red zone picks that are in the meaningful, crucial times of games. I mean, they've got 7 losses thus far this season. He's accounted for about half of those.
He has. I mean, because I think he's got 4 red zone interceptions. 4 in the end zone.
Ooh.
So those are huge. So I don't like that. But I like Geno, and I don't totally blame Geno. You know who I really blame? I'm not sure I'm sold yet on Ryan Grubb, our offensive coordinator. I don't like his play calling. I think the game's ahead of him a little bit. I know he's from college. He just came over from Washington. His offense requires a really solid offensive line. They don't have that. They're building it, but until they get it, I'm not sure how successful he can be. So I struggle with that. I don't know. I mean, I do like Geno, though. Would I want somebody else instead of Geno? Yeah, I'd love to have Bo Nix. I love Bo Nix.
Yeah.
I've been saying it all year, even when he got drafted. I love that kid. I think he's going to be amazing. He made some stupid rookie mistakes this week, but he made some beautiful throws, too.
Pass. I mean, now we're going on a tangent, but that pass at the end to send it into overtime went from the most horrific looking throw out of a sack on fourth down and short that just completely rainbowed into a perfect placement, perfect place where only the receiver could get it right into a touchdown to send it into overtime. It was that alone almost like that made me a believer. I think before then I was like, you know what, I think we can do a little something. He'll probably be again something like Geno Smith, which is a glorified game manager. But that was Bo Nix was incredible. Yeah. Getting back to Geno,
I'll tell you what, I would take Geno Smith all day long over somebody else's quarterback that he has here, Anthony Richardson. He's a Colts fan here.
Yeah,
I think Anthony Richardson's a bust. I think the game is way too fast for him, and I don't think he's going to get any better. He's Vince Young part due.
He needed to sit behind, somebody for a year or two.
Yeah.
He needed to learn the speed of the game, the pace of the game, the mentality of the game too, instead of just being thrown in there. I know I've preached this many times. We're having a first round quarterback going in there, put the C on his chest, and you're starting. You're this ridiculous. Like no, you need to learn. You need to learn. You want to be the best. You got to beat out the best. You got to learn from the best. You're not just going to be the best automatically.
I agree.
But yeah, Geno, I kind of agree with Ralph, which is rare.
That's right. Doesn't happen.
I know, right? With Geno Smith, he's not that elite quarterback. He's never going to be leading the league in yards and touchdowns and things like that. He's just going to be kind of middle of the road and more of a game manager, off the field or locker room leader. So,
but you can win a Super Bowl with a guy like that.
No.
Oh yes, you can.
No.
If you have the defense that you need, like look at the Seahawks defense right now, they're elite. No doubt in my mind.
I mean, yeah, they got a defense. Great coordinator as head coach, yes.
Who's proven that if you have an elite defense and a decent... Think of the weapons Geno has. Geno has weapons, right?
Yeah, he's got a retiring Tyler Lockett, but yes.
And still having a good year. You've got Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's an elite
emerging,
receiver.
Yes.
You have DK, who's an elite receiver. You have K9, who's just, if he could stay healthy, he's an elite running back.
Big if.
You got Charbonneau behind him, who's a good running back.
Good.
Right? You've got weapons. You don't have a good offensive line. You've got to fix that, which they're working on, and they're getting pieces. It takes a year or two. I get that. You can win a Super Bowl with that team. Think back to the Ravens with that elite defense and Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
Trent Dilfer was far from even a middle-of-the-road quarterback, yet they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That is the NFL of the past, though, Ralph.
Well, think about right now. The Chiefs. Is Patrick Mahomes having a fantastic year?
No, not at all.
No, but where are they at?
Yeah.
That is absurd. That is absolutely absurd. How dare you, Ben? I was happy for you to be here. You had a great take last time you were on here, and all this. But how dare you, as a Broncos fan who's stuck in that gosh darn division with Patrick Mahomes? I hope I would give my left pinky toe so that way I could trade Patrick Mahomes to the Seahawks to get him out of our gosh darn division, because facing him twice a year scares the living bejesus out of me. Geno Smith, give me yummy gumdrops every freaking day. He'll give me one of those games just off of his interceptions alone. Patrick Mahomes, how dare you? I have some healthy respect for Patrick Mahomes. That is absurd. However,
but I'm right.
If you go, that's what I said.
I think his point is you can have a middle of the road quarterback and win a Super Bowl.
Correct.
And I think you can, but I think my problem is that this team is not that talented. I don't think it's out of the question. But certainly looking back at the history of the Super Bowls, we are now in a new generation where you have to have one of the two. You have to have a legendary quarterback pioneering and quarterbacking your team and just going and overcompensating for your deficiencies that you're overall team has, or you have a quarterback who's either himself or is still on his rookie quarterback scale and contract, so that way you can build a team around him, so that way as he grows and as that contract is still at an elite discount, you can now field and roster a team that will be elite around him and help usher him into a place of prominence, and hopefully he grows and matures both on the field and in gameplay and in precision, so that way he can quarterback you to a Super Bowl. Those are the only two formulas that have happened within this latest iteration, this latest generation of the NFL.
But you're missing one piece. Right?
What am I missing?
And I think, Mike Holmgren got this. Pete Carroll got this. The one thing they always went after right away was an offensive line.
Agreed.
They drafted in free agency, and that line, there's one key player you have to have. He has to be the mean, nasty jerk, the Incognitos of the world, the Giacomini's of the world. Those guys that are absolute, they're dicks. Yeah. Right? Yep. They're mean. They do a lot. They create a lot of penalties, but they give that line an identity.
Sure.
You have to have that one guy. If you look at Super Bowl teams, most of them have that guy. And that's what Seattle's missing. They're building a nice line. They need that nasty guy. And that's what I hope they find this year in the offseason. You got to find that jerk.
They're building an actually nice line. Like the offensive lineman will pick up the defensive lineman and say, "Good day, sir."
But let's go to the Cardinal game, since that happened last night, and we got to talk a little bit about that. I watched that entire game. Obviously, that game had meaning for the Seattle.
The Seahawks really needed that.
They needed it bad, right? And I saw a few things. So I saw a really bad Cardinal offense in the first half. I'm sure you guys saw that too.
Amen.
The Rams were way off. Stafford, you can tell from his first throw, he was going to have a bad day. And he did. He had a bad night.
Sure, yeah.
Thank God. Well, because I'm the fantasy Super Bowl, and my opponent had, only got 11 points from him, so I'm happy. But he had a bad night. They still put that 10 spot up in the first half. But in that second half, the Cardinals came out and actually played decent football. Why? Because they were running the ball. They got past the fact that Connor was on the bench, and they gave the ball to what's his name? I can't remember his name.
Oh, the running back?
Yeah.
My goodness.
The backup.
Wilson.
No, it's not Wilson.
Or not Wilson. My goodness. Michael Carter. Michael
Carter actually had 70 yards on
really shifty.
Carries. Shifty did a good job, and when they started using him, they started moving the ball, and they actually looked halfway good. Right? Gave Kyler some time to throw the ball, and boom, they put those points up. But then what happens in the last two drives?
Interception.
Kyler Murray. Every freaking time. Kyler Murray can't win the big games. He can't take the big moments. I've been saying this for 6 years. He's not a big moment guy. He hurts you in big moments, and you're never going to win with this guy because of that. So that's my opinion.
I agree. Yeah, they were doing well with the run game, and coming from a former receiver, like I am a huge advocate of establishing the run game first.
Yeah.
Like if it works, keep doing that, because it's going to open up the passing game. But then once you get that desperation mode of the passing game, like you said, what does Kyler Murray do? He throws picks. Just keep going back to what was working. Move the ball down the field. I know you're up against the clock, but do it. If it's working, keep working it.
And I think that there's, you mentioned this, Ben, that there was a desperation from the passing game. And I don't know where that pressure came from. Like, when the first interception, you still had a lot of time left on the clock. Yeah. It's still a one-possession game. Yeah. Heck, even if the defense had failed, and even if the defense had given up and given them a field goal, that's still a one-possession game. Yeah. So I don't know where this desperation from Kyler Murray to just become Superman when he certainly doesn't have the stature to do so, and when the run game is working so well, and from a point where the entire game nothing's going right, your run game is going there, and also I know that this may seem insane, and like a lot of Cardinals fans were celebrating, were absolutely just besides themselves in the local place that I went to go watch the game. When Trey McBride caught that touchdown, they're like, he got one this year. And I was like, yeah, because this entire drive, like, that's become the thing where they're like, Kyler Murray is so laser focused on finding this thing. And it's like, I don't give two ballyhoos about whether or not, Trey McBride could have had an entire season of no touchdowns. And I don't care as long as they win. And I'm sure Trey McBride doesn't care as long as they win. So why are you forcing the ball there? Why are you forcing that the defensive personnel are forcing to go there? It's frustrating when there are outside narratives that are being played in and also being fed into this team that Kyler Murray does not seem to he has rabbit ears or that he is hearing every everything. He's hearing the critiques. He's hearing the criticism, and he's well aware of that on the field, and it shows. Again, it's the comparison I had last week. He's no Eli Manning, where Eli Manning, for some reason, I don't know why, is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I think that the elite trait that Eli Manning had was that, gosh darn it, he never looked like he was aware of anything going on at the field, and that was like a blissful ignorance where he could just he could throw back-to-back interceptions, and it never fazed him. Kyler Murray, he does like one bad thing, it just dominoes, man. It just makes it worse and worse and worse.
Eli Manning, what did he have? 2 good years?
Yeah, that's about it.
Two good years.
2 good postseasons.
He won two Super Bowls.
Yeah.
But he was kind of arsed the rest of his career, I thought. He wasn't that good.
Yeah, it's insane to me that he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like, he's one of those where I very rarely go into like, the semantics of first ballot, or you're either a Hall of Famer or you're not. But he's like, you can't tell the NFL story without him, but he certainly does not deserve to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. No. Like again, out of the 2 Eli Manning brothers, come on, who deserves to be the first ballot Hall of Famer? You shut your mouth.
You can leave now.
Your point about Kyler Murray, you're exactly on. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, McBride, I love you. What a great tight end.
Great player.
Love the guy. I mean, he's gonna be awesome the rest of his career. Yeah. Especially if he can get himself a real quarterback. He's really good. My God. But that last pass, I mean, come on. First of all, people are like, oh, it wasn't Kyler's fault, it was McBride's fault. No, he threw it at his head.
He threw it, yeah.
If you looked at his passes most of the night, they were mostly off.
They were like leading, and they were just right where, like a step ahead. It was, just
not very good at. It's very frustrating to watch him. I was actually pulling for him so hard last night, and I got to feel what it was like to be a Cardinal fan last night. It sucks.
Yeah,
it really does. I mean, the stupid penalties at key moments. Kyler just making bonehead decisions. I mean, not running when he should be running. I mean, come on, dude, move it. You got those little toddler feet. Move them.
I think that desperation mode could have come into play because he might, recognize who he is and what he is. He could be saying, I don't want this to fall on my shoulders at the very end. I'd rather have my defense finish the game out. So let me try to finish the game out now, and then the defense will take over and we'll call it a team win.
Man, they were so primed to win that game. It's
it was there.
And Ben, also one last thing before we close this out. If I say, hey, Ben, I need you to cook me a meal. Okay, I will do so. And I say, and you're like, well, what are you going to help? What are you going to provide to me, you, Ben? You're saying, what are you going to provide to me so that I can cook this meal? I give you some groceries. I give you some ramen. I give you pretty generic stuff, right? Okay. And like, I give you a really good walk. I give you all this great stuff. But the one thing, and like, you're like, okay, I, Philip, am going to give you an oven. And you're like, whoa, I really want to cook over a fire. And it's like, well, now you got to start making accommodations for the fire when I already gave you an oven. Where in the heck, in this analogy, and where is Marvin Harrison Jr.? This entire season, like, this game feels like a microcosm of it. Where is Marvin Harrison Jr.? I give you, like, a foundational piece that other teams are salivating over that they would have traded for you with, and you've got this, and there's just no chemistry. There's no use of it. It's like the first time you're burning the souffle, and you're trying to make everything work everywhere else. You're trying to accommodate Trey McBride, but you have Marvin Harrison there, who's supposed to be this generational talent, like, not seen before since, like, Calvin Harrison. Where is Marvin Harrison Jr. in this entire season, let alone this game? It's frustrating.
He's the microwave in your scenario.
Oh,
hey guys, I can get this done faster if you just feed me instead.
Yeah, that's funny. God, it's so true.
I think they made a good point last night. In the beginning of the season, teams were double teaming him because they thought this guy was going to be something.
Sure,
they stopped doing it halfway through
because they realized
he has a really hard time running his way open.
Yeah,
he's not very good at it, and Kyler is not very good at throwing a receiver open.
Yeah, that's
he's very bad.
Like, you can double cover him all the day, but at the end of the day, the ball still has to get to him.
He's just not a threat.
Yeah,
he's just not. No receiver on that team's a threat except for McBride, because McBride's just good.
McBride is really.
You can
good.
throw the ball anywhere near him, he's going to catch it. He's just got great hands, right? Kind of like what you did in college, right? He was a tight end.
I was a massage therapist in tight end.
You were a tight end, weren't you?
I was a receiver in college.
Oh, I thought you were a tight end. Well, from what I see, you got tight end.
Well, thank you.
Anyway,
and that's our break.
But I mean, so I just I don't know. I was Cardinal fan. I'm sorry. I feel for you.
You know what, Ralph? One more thing before we go to break. This offseason, Seahawks Cardinals ring. They have an a la Donovan McNabb in-division trade offer for you. Would you trade Kyler Murray for Geno Smith?
Hell no.
Hell no, he says. Hell no.
He's terrible. No way, no how. Why would you want to step backwards?
Why would you want to step backwards and go about 4 feet lower?
I'm going to divorce the wife that I'm happy with right now to get back with my ex. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Right? You wouldn't do that. All right, I know we got to go to a break. We do have some text in the text line. We'll catch up on the other side of the break, and then we got to get into our picks. It's a Weekend Warriors Football Sunday right here on 1580 The Fanatic.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Live and local.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. Terms and conditions apply.
Now open in Scottsdale. It's United Porte Custom Door Showroom with 40,000 Euro doors and hundreds of state-of-the-art designs and finishes on display. Plus kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, and more. All at wholesale prices. Builders, contractors, designers, and yes, you. Come see our showroom on Greenway Hayden Loop. That's United Porte, P-O-R-T-E. Stop by to see and feel the quality. United Porte Custom Doors. Find us at uporte.com. That's uporte.com.
It's fall football season, and Kasai Japanese Steakhouse is doubling down, now with 2 Valley locations. When it comes to Asian cuisine, no one does it better and more authentic than Kasai, where talented teppanyaki chefs create the food, the fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse isn't just dinner, it's dinnertainment. A memorable dining experience where a delicious 7-course meal is prepared right at your table with flair. It's a perfect choice for celebrations, date nights, or a night on the town. Choose from over 30 different items and combinations of teppanyaki, Asian fusion, and innovative sushi. Happy Hour is always on fire and offered daily with specials on their Asian-inspired comfort food like Korean steak tacos, Mongolian barbecue ribs, and signature Wagyu beef sliders. Always a memorable dinner, or catch the game and a bite at the bar. At Kasai, now the 2 locations, Scottsdale Road in Thunderbird, and in Peoria at the 101 in Northern. Go to KasaiTeppen.com. That's Kasai Teppen.com, or search Kasai on your mobile phone.
Head coach Bobby Hurley and Sun Devil men's basketball are ready to join the Big 12 Conference. This season, the Sun Devils host conference foes Baylor, Iowa State, Arizona, TCU, and Houston, all at Desert Financial Arena.
And another steal ahead to Miller, and Miller reverses it up and in, and he's fouled! Holy moly!
Join the action and get your Sun Devil men's basketball tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
Looking for a gift for your kids or loved ones? Consider getting them something they'll use for the rest of their lives. An education. Open an AZ 529 education savings plan today. Contribute just $50 a month, and they'll have nearly $20,000 by graduation. Plus, your money grows tax-free and can be used for college, vocational school, or workforce training. An AZ 529 account will help them unwrap their full potential. Learn more at az529.gov.
This message is sponsored by the Office of the Arizona State Treasurer.
1580 The Fanatic.
Weekend Warriors on 1580 The Fanatic. All right, let's catch up on the text line real quick. We got a text from Neho. Ralph pouts when he doesn't have his Cocoa Pebbles for breakfast. All right, shut up.
Aren't you on vacation?
Yeah. Aren't you in Minnesota? You're their problem. Sports Girlie's back on the line. Have you seen Manning Cast? He still had no idea what's going on. I agree. You're talking about Eli. He doesn't seem like he has a deal of what's going on. I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan.
I mean, again, not a fan and still got 2 Super Bowls. I mean, one of the weirdest NFL Hall of Fame. I mean, undoubtedly, I will agree. I will counter that he is an NFL Hall of Famer. It's just so weird that when your elite trait was just that you were just aloof, that you were just not unaware, and maybe like a really good bowler. Like apparently he's supposedly like a phenomenal bowler, but it's so odd that he has one of the weirdest NFL careers that is like such an outlier unto itself. Of the second brother, he's the one who won 2 Super Bowls before and was like, yeah, it's so weird. Eli Manning has more Super Bowls than Peyton. It's so weird.
That is kind of weird. I never thought about it that way. I thought Peyton has 2, doesn't he?
Peyton has 2. So, but I mean, that was like, it took forever for Peyton to get that second one. Eli was sitting at 2 forever. And then I think Eli has beaten Peyton more than Peyton has ever beaten Eli. Like whenever they faced head to head, it was rare, but it happened. It was crazy.
Do you think he gets in just because of his name?
Oh, I think he deserves it,
Yeah.
but I don't know if
So-
he's getting in on. I hope he doesn't get in on first attempt. Because again, when you're looking at people like really good linemen, really like Luke Kuechly's still waiting there, and it's like you're going to deny Luke Kuechly and Steve Smith Sr. and these and Patrick Willis and all these people that have had to wait for another quarterback that's Eli. That's just like it's hard to find a section in time that during his career where he was even considered a top 8 quarterback, let alone top 5. It's weird.
It is weird. All right, one last so anyway, I didn't mention this, but join us on the text line 888-368-1580 if you want to join the conversation. As you see, so many people are. You can also join us. We're live streaming on X, on Facebook, on Instagram, and somewhere else.
MySpace.
YouTube.
YouTube.
I always forget the YouTube. Yeah. So go ahead and take a look. You can see our pretty faces, except for Ben. And
what?
Oh, I'm sorry. You are pretty. Anyway, so one more text we have from Bitter Dolphin fan. It says, "Good morning, guys. Sunday is my favorite day of the week." I think me too.
Yeah.
2 questions. Hope you don't mind. What do you think of the recent feud between Ryan Clark of ESPN and Aaron Rodgers? Is it much ado about nothing? And number 2, many pundits say Caleb Williams looks like a broken man, that his body language is bad. Should he sit on the bench and smile and laugh? I think he's taken a beating, but he should be given some slack. What do you all think? I mean, I'll touch Caleb Williams real quick. I don't know that he looks like a broken man, but he looks like a guy that's gone through a season he never imagined he would have to go through.
Yep.
He has no offensive line in front of him, and they've been just beating him up all year.
Yeah.
But even watching that game against the Seahawks, when that guy breaks, and I'm an SC fan, obviously, so I saw it in college. When he breaks from a play that's broken, and he throws these beautiful passes.
Yeah.
The future with this guy is unbelievable. If you give him time in the pocket, which they eventually will, I would hope.
Yeah.
He's going to make those plays on top of when it breaks down, being able to do what he does. The guy's still elite and he's still generational. He's just going through it like Peyton Manning did his rookie year.
Yeah,
I mean, he had
yeah.
a terrible rookie year.
Yeah, he's not in the right system, in my opinion. Like, go sit behind Lamar Jackson for a year. Go sit behind Josh Allen for a year. Like, sit behind those guys and watch for a year, and then you go, okay, I get it now.
And look at his numbers. He's still having a great year.
Yeah.
I mean, so...
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say sit, but look, this is pretty much a traditional. I think the CJ Strouds of the world, the RG3, and maybe even I guess considered Andrew Lucks of the world have really elevated what a lot of people expect out of rookie seasons and out of rookies in general. But I mean, Ralph, look to your own team. I mean, if we're going to go to rookies, Zach Charbonnet did nothing his rookie year. Jackson Smith and Jigma did nothing his rookie year. And to Ben's point, it's because they were sitting behind people, learning their craft, learning at a professional level. Quarterbacks aren't given that luxury. And to go towards his demeanor and his attitude on the bench, what we forget, and it's just glorified because it's quarterbacks, but what we forget is that a lot of these people, a lot of these kids, a lot of these quarterbacks, they're winners, and not in that like it's the old way of like, oh, he's a winner kind of thing. No, I literally mean that, like Kyler Murray, I think, wasn't it a stat before he came to the Cardinals? He was like undefeated. Like he had never lost in high school, and then Trevor Lawrence had only like 2 losses in his entire NFL or in his entire football career before going to the Jaguars. Yeah. Caleb Williams just doesn't know a lot of defeat outside of his last year in USC, and by then he was getting paid a lot of money. So it's hard to be affected by that much loss and be affected by that much dysfunction when you're so not used to it that they just have to get used to like just what the next hurdle is, what the next thing, and just get these growing pains. I mean, these things do not typically come easy. CJ Stroud, to that point, having a pretty average second season. Like, the only thing that's saving him, really, is that he's in such a terrible division. Mm-hmm. But usually, we associate rookies with a rookie season. That's why it's a thing, is because usually they aren't expected to do much and aren't things. But we as pundits, as people from the outside looking in, put a lot of expectations on the Bears, when really... You know, when they address wide receiver in the offseason as their number one priority across the entire NFL organization, that is the Bears, and not touch the offensive line, what should we have expected?
No, I agree with you. 100%. I agree. A lot of these guys that come out of high school and college, they've never really played against anybody worth a darn. I mean, they're these college guys.
They're the best of the best.
Yeah, these college guys that are going to these huge programs that are just going 10-0, 11-0. They're playing against guys that are selling insurance.
Yeah,
right? I mean, so it's a different level, and it takes time. I agree with you. It takes a lot of time. Receivers I always go back to Joey Galloway from Ohio State. After his first season, they looked at he said, what was different? He goes, the speed is just so fast up here. It's just so different. It takes time to get used to it. And he had a great career after that first year. And I just think that's the way it is. So it'll be interesting to see these guys that are coming out next year. I have a lot of opinions on that. And we'll do a draft show as we get close to the draft and we can talk about that stuff. But there's a lot of interesting guys coming out, especially at the quarterback, that I want to talk about. Yeah, I don't think are going to be very successful.
It's such an adjustment just nowadays between college and NFL. Because if you think about it, in college, what do we have? We have NIL with players who they're going to pick and choose which college they want to go to. Like I want to do, they're paying me more money, so I'm going to go here. I make the decisions. I get to do this, and I go undefeated. Then you get to the NFL. Then what is it there? It's the exact opposite. You get drafted. You're playing here. You're playing on my system. You're doing by my rules. A lot of those players are not going to have that adjustment.
I'm starting to hate college football.
Yeah,
starting to hate it.
It's
because of all SC's got 17 guys I heard that left. They're leaving on the portal. Like none of these guys played in the bowl game the other day.
Yeah,
and that happens with every team.
Sure,
it's all about where can you get money. Who's gonna? I just don't like. I don't like it at all. It's not college football anymore.
Yeah.
To your point, Ben, the number one prospect at quarterback coming, I want to say it's like, I don't know where, I forget where he's coming out. I think he's coming out of California. He's going to Michigan. He's coming from a warm state. I remember that. And he was sold not only on his NIL deal, but of course, where he's making like $1 million plus, of course, like per year. But he also, he was sold on the idea of, where they said, hey, you can pick your quarterback's coach. You can pick your offensive coordinator. Right. We will let you do that because we really want the number one high school recruit at quarterback coming out. And it's a whole new world in college. But you're right. It's completely a 180 in the NFL.
It's backwards. You have these 18-year-old kids who are like, hey, I get to make all these decisions of what I want. And then you get to the NFL. It's like, guess what? It's not like that. It's what It's the opposite. We're going to tell you what we want.
You can get a lot of what you want, but even then, like Joe Burrow, you can get a lot of what you want. Sure. But you're going to be dealing with a really bad offensive line, and no amount of forcing ownership to pay for a new training facility can fix that.
Yeah.
Neil, I'm not hitting on Caleb Williams. I know you think I am. He says I'm already married. Stop hitting on Caleb Williams. Go away, Neil. And then, Rich, your first question, real quick. What do you think of the recent feud between Ryan Clark of ESPN and Aaron Rodgers?
Am I crazy? I'm kind of over Aaron Rodgers outside of football, and even then, I'm not that interested.
Everyone is.
He has a new documentary out. I'm like, what do I not know about Aaron Rodgers at this point? No,
there's some scary things, I guarantee you.
Maybe, but I feel like that's not going to be released by him or anything that he says. It'll come out as an expose whenever he's on his third kid and everything. I'm not. It's fascinating to see, personalities clash. When me and Ralph had our big blow up about a month ago, like it was must see TV. But outside of that, it's not.
Wait. What blow up did we have?
Well, you didn't know about it, but I've been harboring.
I mean, I've had a few with Neil, but not for you.
He was like, I was sitting in my living room. I was upset with Ralph.
Yeah, no, it was ugly.
Oh, it was ugly. You sure you're not thinking of sports girly? Because it wasn't me.
No. Me and her never argue.
Okay. I know that's BS. So we won't go into that. All right, so we're way behind the agenda, but that's okay. It's been a lot of good conversation.
We have an agenda?
Oh, yeah, but it gets blown up sometimes.
So we need to speak for an hour over how the Broncos lost to the Bengals. Is that what you were talking about for the agenda?
Yes.
Yeah, those jerks. But anyway, no, that's not on the agenda. I really needed them to win that. Anyway. Let's look at our picks. So let's start going into our picks. I want to look at the last week's. I mean, as far as I really don't want to look at last week because something's going on and I can't explain it. But all of a sudden, I suck.
Yeah, well, I've been telling you this for years, actually. So.
I've been so good, and now I'm just so bad. And all of a sudden, Phil's really good.
Yeah,
I cannot be stopped, baby.
Yeah, the denial stage, and then now we're acceptance, right?
But I've been good all year. I mean, now it's like I can't pick a winner. So Phil was 5-1 last week again.
Woo!
Neil was 4-2. Neil doesn't know what he's doing. He just guesses. So he's 4-2, but he leads the whole contest from guessing.
Wow.
He picks colors and helmets.
He fixes the game.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a pretty helmet, and he picks it. And then I was 2-4.
I tried my best to get you two of those.
I know.
Two of those, Carolina and the Cowboys, man. Oh, I tried.
I don't know what's going on. But anyway, so right now, Neil's in first place with 59 wins, 38 losses. I'm still in second place, 56-41, but here comes Phil, 53-44.
Ooh, baby. And let me tell you, I wish that some of these early games that were flexed on Christmas, on Thursday, on Saturday, I wish that they weren't because We have a dog with fleas of an early morning schedule here. Tell me which game at 11 interests you. Can I please go down the list? Titans Jaguars with no Trevor Lawrence and a benched Will Levis. Ooh, please. Carolina Panthers with no Juba Hubbard. Buccaneers who are going to probably blow them out. Ugh. Eagles versus Cowboys with no CeeDee Lamb. My God. Ugh. Colts, Giants, with Joe Flacco in. Raiders, Saints, my goodness, who gets the number 1 overall pick? Sounds great. New York Jets and Bills after the Bills threw up on themselves, so now the Bills probably actually throw up all over Aaron Rodgers. My God, what an ugly, ugly day.
So, Phil, how do you feel about the NFL this week?
On that note.
So, we'll talk. I guess we can get into our picks on the other side of the break, or we'll do it quickly because you're right. There's a lot of bad games.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's better things we can talk about. But we still do have to do our picks. I mean, it's just part of what we do. But you know what? What do we got? We got 2 minutes. Let's
about 2 minutes. We can do one.
Let's do one. Which one would Phil really like?
What's your favorite, Phil?
Let's do this.
What's your least favorite?
Let's do the Washington Commanders.
The Sunday night football game.
Yeah, you got the Commanders at 10-5, hosting the Atlanta Falcons at 8-7. Commanders are favored by 4 points with an over/under of 46.5. You got 4 points?
I got 3.5, so it's come down a tick, which actually does mean something in a three is a key number here.
Okay, so Ben, who do you like in this game?
Commanders.
Why?
They're clicking at the right time. The Falcons, they're sitting Cousins.
But Penix he looked good last week.
Yeah, that was his first game.
Could be better this week.
Against who?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Against the New York Giants.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
is
the Giants. You were supposed to win that game. You could have put in anyone and they would have won that game.
Phil would have won that game.
Okay.
So I've won that game many times.
Commanders are clicking at the right time right now, so I feel like
1 minute.
They're gonna take that.
Okay,
one.
so you got the Commanders. I got the Commanders too. Phil, who do you have?
Big Penix energy. Let's go Falcons. Look, I understand what you're saying, but Kirk Cousins was bringing that team down. Now, Michael Penix, I realized that he was supposed to win that game, but he didn't have to do it so nicely. He didn't have to do it so smoothly. Man, when he walks around, he's got a swagger. I got that big Penix energy. Atlanta Falcons. Commanders have been looking astounding since their bye, but I have to go with Michael Penix in an upset over the Commanders, who can afford a loss at home.
Now I want to change my pick.
20.
But I'm not going to, and Neil has the Commanders as well. All right, when we get back from the break, it's hour 2, which is actually going to be a 30-minute hour, but we got hour 2, and we'll get into some more picks and whatever else we feel like talking about. It's the Weekend Warriors Football Sunday on 1580. The Fanatic.
Sports betting apps are not created equal. Dylan Cohen from Beat the Book here to talk about the Sport Trade Advantage. With higher payouts, Sport Trade is the ultimate sports betting experience. Sport Trade is the first sports betting app that gives you the option to see the odds expressed as probabilities, and it's changing in-game betting forever. If it's easier to understand 52% probability of winning versus minus 108 odds, then Sport Trade is for you. With this percent odds feature, cashing out now makes much more sense. As the win probability changes, so does the value of your bet. And if you're an experienced bettor and prefer American odds, you'll get pricing closer to minus 106 versus the normal minus 110, coupled with instant in-play betting. No more spinny wheels. So download Sport Trade today to see the difference and beat the book. Use promo code 1580 to earn 10% cash back on every bet you place in your first week. Terms apply.
Sport Trade is regulated by the Arizona Department of Gaming. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Let's say you've got questions. You're looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Well, Harman Solar has the answers. Hi, I'm Jeffrey O'Brien, and listen, there's a couple of ways you can go here. One, visit harmansolar.com, browse around, because right across the page, they got links to all sorts of great information, like frequently asked questions, equipment, tax credits, even testimonials. Or just give them a call, 800-281-3189. Ask them directly. They'd love to hear from you. That's 800-281-3189. Or just go to harmansolar.com.
In most countries of the world, Porte means door. United Porte Custom Doors, located in the Scottsdale Airport Design District, is now open with over 40,000 European doors, all in stock, ready for delivery, and at wholesale prices. Designers, contractors, builders, and yes, you. Come see our showroom on Greenway Hayden Loop. That's United Porte, Porte. Stop by to see and feel the quality at United Porte Custom Doors. Find us at uporte.com. That's uporte.com.
They're gonna go nuts when he hits this thing.
The People's Open is back. See the PGA Tour's best tee it up at the 2025 WM Phoenix Open February 3rd through the 9th at TPC Scottsdale. Get tournament and ticket info at WMPhoenixOpen.com. WMPhoenixOpen.com.
Did you know that daily multivitamins boost your health on the inside and the outside? It's true. Multivitamins with folic acid boost energy levels, improve your mood, and promote overall wellness. And if you decide to have a baby, they can help prevent birth defects in a pregnancy. That's why the Arizona Department of Health Services is offering a free 3-month supply of multivitamins. Visit azdhs.gov/PowerMe-A2C for free vitamins.
Sponsored by the Arizona Department of Health Services.
Jail searches out, by the way.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's the weekend! Warriors! Warriors! Come on to play! Yeah! Here we go!
You're right.
All right, everybody, it's 10 a.m. on this football Sunday. We're broadcasting live from the Weekend Warrior Studios in beautiful Peoria, Arizona, where it's very nice today.
It is beautiful.
Not like Minnesota.
Yeah.
Enjoy it, Neil. I'm Ralph Romano, not alongside my partner in crime, Neil Lynch, who's off in Minnesota making misery for people up there. But instead, I've got our buddy, Ben Wolfschlager, from nowhere.
From nowhere.
From nowhere.
Right down the road.
And the legendary Philip Amrine in the control room.
Yep.
And this is it's a Weekend Warriors Football Sunday edition, week number 17. And actually, Neil's on the text line. He sent me a picture. He's watching the show from a friend's house, and it shows us on this big screen.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So-
high definition, wall to wall.
High definition. Good thing Neil's not on the TV. He'd break it.
Oh, my God.
And I'm surprised he has friends. But anyway.
We miss you, Neil.
We really don't. Just stay in Minnesota, dude. It's where you belong. I'm sure you're doing good there.
I'm sure you're doing good.
And don't forget, join us on the text line, 888-368-1580. Join the conversation. You guys have been doing that a lot today. You can also follow us on X, on Instagram, on Facebook, and YouTube as we are live streaming. Join the chats there as well. Okay, let's get into the rest of some of these games. Some of these games are just terrible. We'll do them quick.
Yeah.
There's maybe one game to focus on, but I know Ben's a big Colt fan. I don't know why.
My condolences, yeah.
You know, it's going.
He still thinks Andrew Luck's going to play, but he's not.
He's not? What?
The Colts are 7-8, and they're set to face the powerful New York Giants, who are 2-13.
Who apparently are so disrespected by some people over there that Penix should have beaten them with and not look so good doing it. Apparently, it's a foregone conclusion.
Foregone. Just got their season is. The Colts are favored by 7.5 points on the road.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And the over-under is 40.5. I mean, this is stupid.
Joe Flacco's in as quarterback. Does that change anybody's opinion here?
So let me go first, and we'll let Ben go last.
Oh, that sounds good.
So I'm going to say it doesn't change my opinion. If I'm the Giants, you want to keep losing so you have the number 1 pick. And you don't have to try real hard. You're really bad.
Yeah.
You're going to keep losing. Yeah. So you got to take the Colts. I think Flacco makes them better. I don't like Anthony Richardson at all
Wrong.
anymore. No, you're not. I'm not wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong, man. You're wrong. You little toddler. You're wrong. No. I think he makes them better. I just think the Colts are very bad offensively with Anthony Richardson. They're going to be better today. The Giants' defense is terrible. The Giants will not be able to move the ball on offense. I'm going to take the Colts. Go ahead, Phil.
I love the Giants with the points, but otherwise, I cannot in good faith not pick the Colts to win this.
I was about to disconnect the Zoom.
I know. I've been on some audacious picks these past few weeks, and a lot of them have come through, might I add. But there is no way, no how that I can pick against the Colts winning. I do think the Giants are going to fight it and keep it closer than the 7.5, 8, wherever you get it, is going to be. But that being said, and also let me directly address. I don't. It sounds like Ben's on your side, Ralph, over there. But as strictly from a performance thing, strictly from the offensive production, there is no correlation. There is no metric that you can have where Joe Flacco is better than Anthony Richardson just for the offense. Merely if you want to just take it for the simple analysis that Anthony Richardson's mobility that Joe Flacco does not have. Anthony Richardson allows Jonathan Taylor, and there's a direct correlation of whenever Anthony Richardson is playing to Jonathan Taylor, and the ability that the defense has to respect Anthony Richardson as a mobile quarterback that allows Jonathan Taylor to find such open lanes and to be able to be so productive in the run game. So yes, Joe Flacco can throw better and see the field better, but actually that doesn't necessarily matter when your offense is more productive, even if it's just from the run game that's not Anthony Richardson. So the Colts win, but I think it's close.
You're wrong. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I think this is one of those games where like the stars have to align. It's like the most logical game out there. Colts need to win.
Yeah.
I think Joe Flacco kind of wants to make a little bit more of a statement of like, hey, I'm still relevant in the league, so
Sure.
I'm gonna come out and be Joe Flacco. And then the Giants need to and want to lose.
Yeah.
They're not going to blatantly say, "Hey, I want to lose," but I don't think you're going to, and they're not going to give full effort. But you'll see probably the coaching staff rotate a lot of younger guys, or guys who need a little bit more development, a little more playing time. So it's just one of those games where like, yeah, everything aligns. Colts need to win, Giants need to lose. Hey, let's just agree before the game starts that this is what's going to happen.
That's really good, Ben. Yeah.
I mean, and this is typical Giant fashion. They're going to be the worst team and get the number one pick in the wrong year. They should have had it last year. This year, there's really quarterback-wise, they need a quarterback.
They do. Yeah.
Don't like what's coming out. So again, they screwed up. All right, so we're all on the Colts. Even
all on the Colts.
Neil has the Colts as well.
And now the Giants are going to win.
Yeah.
Who did Neil have for Falcons Commanders?
He had the Commanders.
He had them. Okay, so I'm the only one. I'm the only one on Big
You're
Phoenix
the
Island.
outcast. You're the leprosy cat.
Yes.
All right, so then we got the Miami Dolphins at 7-8, set to face the Cleveland Browns, another great 3-12 team. This is in Cleveland, so I'm sure it'll be nice and warm. Mm-hmm. The Dolphins are favored by 6.5 points.
I have Miami -3.
What?
Well, remember, Tua's out.
This is the spread before Tua.
Yes, before Tua got ruled, I think out. I'm pretty sure he's out. I think latest was questionable, but
he is
insiders
questionable,
have said,
but they're saying he's out.
Yeah, they're
right
saying
now
he's
it's
out.
3.5. I just checked.
What do you have as far as over under 40.5?
I have 33.5. What a difference Tua
It's
makes.
really changed with Tua out. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, so just to start off, Neil has Miami, which means we should all pick the other way. I'll start with this. Still depends if Tua is not going to play, which I don't think he is. That leaves Tyler Huntley. I would expect as his backup. Yeah, Cleveland's an interesting team. I mean, they just who's their quarterback?
That's what I've been trying. I was like, you know what? I forget because I know I saw they're reworking Deshaun's contract, but I can't.
Which they did.
Gosh, who are they starting?
Oh, it's the guy from UCLA.
Oh, it's still Dorian Thompson-Robinson?
Yeah, he sucks.
Oh, God, he's
terrible.
awful.
He's a bro. He sucks.
Oh, I don't even need that.
That
He just
alone,
has
I don't
small
need,
hands.
I don't need to talk about anything else. Just knowing that he's starting, I'm taking Miami. I know this will be a tough game for Miami. They don't play well in the cold, but Tua is not starting. So that stat goes to him, in my opinion. I have to think of anything. I'm going to take Miami just because they're a better team and they should win. And I really don't like Robinson at all as a quarterback.
I wish that there was a reason I could pick against the. If Jameis was playing this, I would absolutely be all over the Browns.
Me too.
The Dolphins, yes, the Tua thing is real. The Dolphins as a whole team don't play well, but they need an actual NFL quarterback. And Dorian Thompson-Robinson, DTR, has not proven to be a NFL caliber quarterback. So I can't, in good faith, pick the Browns at all. I need to pick the Dolphins.
Go ahead.
I'm going with Browns.
Are you?
Yep.
Wow, please make the case.
Yeah, it's cold weather. First of all, we all know Miami doesn't do well. Tua's out. But I really don't think it's going to be won off of Cleveland's offense. I think Cleveland's defense is going to win the game. I think Myles Garrett's going to have a big game. He's going to take advantage of the situation. He's like, yep, I'm going after him.
So you are calling for the upset.
Calling for the upset on this one.
You don't have Njoku. You don't have Tillman. Your Winston's out.
Is Waddle playing?
Okoronkwo's out. Who?
Is Waddle playing?
Jalen Waddle. I think he's still. I think he's a game time decision. I think he's the only one that they're
so
like maybe.
Just
Tyreek Hill is questionable.
You have Tyreek with a
questionable. You're probably playing.
Yeah.
So that's a bold call.
Ben, if you got that one right, even I'm not that bold. I've been pretty bold in these past few weeks. I'm not that bold, but that's
the game I'm watching this week.
All right, next game.
Good for you.
We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 8-7. They're hosting the Carolina Panthers at 4-11. This is at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. The Buccaneers, I have them last favored by 8 points.
You have some old news because Tampa Bay is now favored by 10.
I did get my stats 2 days early. And what do you have for the over/under?
47.5.
So that really hasn't moved. Okay. Ben, I'll let you start.
Yeah, Tampa Bay on this one. It's pretty much.
He used his upset pick earlier.
Like I'm not. There's no way that Carolina wants to win. They want a better draft pick too. So.
But they're playing good ball.
Sure, they're playing good ball. But this is the time. Like, are you making the playoffs?
They beat Chucky last week.
Are you making the playoffs? Let's start thinking about next year now.
Okay.
Let's start developing the younger guys, the guys who need playing time. It's things like that. So again, it's one of those. They're not going to say that we're not give full effort. They'll still give effort, but it won't be with those guys. It'll be with. Let's just get some rotations in. Let's try some plays that we haven't been working on, things like that.
The only reason I'm going to agree with you is because Chuba Hubbard's out.
I'm right there with you, Ralph. I really, really would want to pick the Panthers this week.
I would pick them.
I would, but I can't. That Chuba is their biggest offensive piece in Chuba. Yes, I
like calling him Chuba. As if it's Chuba or Chuba, but I don't care. He's Chuba to me.
He's absolutely. But he is just the engine that makes the whole thing go. I love what Bryce has been doing. He's resurrected his career to a point where he gets another chance next year. But I can't. And also, if you look at the stats of any time that the Panthers under this defensive coordinator have played against Baker, he's like the only one that has Baker's number in this iteration of him in Tampa. Yep. But I can't pick against the Buccaneers when their entire offense seemingly is out due to IR. Give me the Buccaneers again, and I must go there.
Okay. We're all in agreement on that. Neil has that as well. All right, so the next game, I'm actually going to go to the Philly games. We have the Philadelphia Eagles at 12-3, the Jalen Hurts-less Eagles.
Yeah, that was recent for me. I don't know how recent that came out, but I just recently found that out. Kenny Pickett will make his first start this year due to Jalen Hurts coming out early in the Washington Commanders game in the first quarter due to concussion.
Now, that makes this game very interesting against the Cowboys, who are 7-8. This game's at Lincoln Financial Field.
Cowboys are seedyless. They have no Lamb. Philadelphia minus 7.5 at home.
Still at 7.5. 38 over under?
Yes.
Okay. Ben, we kind of talked about this. I'm going to let you go into it.
This one's tough because my gut feeling tells me to go with the underdog, go with Dallas on this one. Just because I feel like Jalen Hurts is a huge aspect in the Eagles' offense.
He's the piece that they need.
Exactly. Now that he's out,
but you got Barkley.
Yeah, and you got Barkley, and he obviously wants to go for the
chasing a record.
So they're gonna be running it. So Dallas already knows this. They're like, okay, Jalen Hurts is out, so he's probably not gonna be running it a lot. So we need to run the ball with Saquon Barkley. So what do we do? Let's plan around Saquon Barkley to not get the record, stop the run game there. I feel like it's an easy defense to plan against. And Dallas, they're missing CeeDee Lamb, but I still feel like Dallas might pull the upset in this one.
Taking Dallas?
I don't know. It's hard.
You got to commit.
I have to commit. Maybe the end of the tie? Can we do that?
No ties.
No tie?
Hey, no. If it ends in a tie and he calls for a tie, that's like he gets 50 points just off of that. Like, that is so hard. There's not been a tie this season yet.
You calling for a tie?
No, I'll take Dallas. I'll go.
Wow.
I'll take Dallas on this one.
Ben has got some cojones this morning.
I know.
Yeah, he's picking two underdogs.
I had a good breakfast.
He had a good breakfast. Yeah, he came here in 8.
8 is Wheaties.
All right, Phil.
Look, this game was pretty close in the first 3 quarters earlier in the season when they were in Dallas and there was the whole make curtains and everything, all that stuff. That being said, How dare you both? How dare you both say that Jalen Hurts is the cog that makes this whole thing go? How dare you both? You're like Nick Sirianni like a week ago saying, yeah, I don't know why Jalen Hurts, if he's touching the ball every week, he should be in the MVP discussion. Baloney. Absolute baloney. Saquon Barkley, there's a reason why he's in the MVP discussion as like the number 2 person behind only Josh Allen and maybe even Lamar, so maybe number 3. But Saquon Barkley was running behind the best offensive line he's seen, certainly in the NFL, and he's running behind these gaping holes that even though we are the backup quarterback, Kenny Pickett was a starting quarterback, has starting quarterback experience. I trust him way more than Cooper Rush. The Eagles, while I do think that they are vulnerable, the Cowboys, without CeeDee Lamb, are certainly not the team that can do this. The Eagles are winning. They're winning big. They're winning disrespectfully, and they are winning and keeping their hopes alive, albeit minorly. They are keeping their hopes alive for the number 1 seed, even though I don't think that they can win it, now that I think about it, now that I say it out loud. But they are still winning. They're still winning.
All right.
Very
I think Barkley has a big day.
Yeah.
I think he 150 yards today, and they're going to win just based on that. And you got to remember, a great running back can make a decent, a mediocre quarterback look good.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Eagles.
They still scored 33 points last week in a loss.
Yeah.
The offense is going to be fine, guys. It's the Cowboys. What are we talking about?
If CeeDee Lamb was playing, maybe, but he's not.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings. This is the big one. So, Neil, I know you're listening. The Minnesota Vikings, 13-2, are slight favorites. I have them at a 1-point favorite over the Green Bay Packers.
That is correct. That is where it is.
The over-under is 49.
49, indeed. Where did Neil go here?
Neil, of course, took the Packers. He's a Packer fan.
He has a little bit of backstabbing in him. He does have a little turncoat in him.
All his friends up there know that.
Yeah.
I'll start because I've watched these two teams in the last few weeks. So they played Seattle.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that even though against Seattle, Geno didn't play against Green Bay much that last half. I think Green Bay is a better team. I was not impressed last week with the Vikings. Seattle should have won that game. The Vikings, I think I get they've had a great season. You can rattle Darnold. You can stop their run like Seattle stopped them running. Their defense has got a lot of holes in it. I think at this point, I think Green Bay is a little bit better than the Vikings. I really do. I'm not taking anything away from the Vikings. I love Sam Darnold, SC guy. I've always pulled for him. He's having a great year. I think the new coach there has done a great job. Overall, that team has surprised all of us. In the beginning of the year, we picked them to do nothing. Mm-hmm. Remember, people were saying, I don't want to draft Justin Jefferson because he's got no one throwing to him.
Yeah.
I mean, so how did that turn out? So they've definitely had a fantastic season, and they have a great chance of going deep in the playoffs. I just don't think this game is going to be theirs. I think the Packers will win this game. I'm not saying it because of Neil. It hurts me that I have to do something that Neil likes, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to pick the Packers. I just think they're a better team at this moment, but it's really close. These two teams are really close, but I'm taking the Packers.
Sam Darnold paving the way for Anthony Richardson. Paving the way. Great athletic traits, doesn't make it with his original team, and goes somewhere else and just puts it all together. Look, the Packers right now are 1-4 in division. Their one win is a 2019 nail-biter against the Chicago Bears. Look, for some reason, they don't perform well in division. The Vikings still, they realistically do have their own. They have their own pathway to pave to get the number 1 overall seed as they face both the Packers and the Lions in back-to-back weeks in a grueling race for the number 1 overall seed. It's hard. It's hard because I don't think that the Packers necessarily go winless in the division, all but the Bears. But I think that's how it's going to play out. I think that the Vikings, Sam Darnold is proving he's great. Josh Jacobs is wonderful for the Packers, but I don't think that necessarily does much in a blitz-heavy scheme that Brian Flores provide for the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to go with the Vikings a la a Jordan Love interception or two that he's just going to love to give up to the Vikings defense. I'm going to go Vikings, by 5. I mean, I don't know. Who cares?
Nice. Yeah, I think the Packers are a very good, well-rounded team.
Yes.
It could be anyone's game. Anyone could have a good game, and that's how they've been winning. It's not necessarily focused on one guy.
Excellent point.
I feel like the Vikings are more of an exciting team, though. Like the big plays on offense and defense, things like that you've seen all season.
Jefferson,
Jefferson, the huge plays. So I think that's what's going to be the key in this game is that Vikings are going to take it with some big plays.
So you guys are going Skol.
Yep.
Wow.
Don't tell Neil.
Are the Vikings smart enough? Don't answer this now, but are the Vikings smart enough to give Sam Darnold a contract to keep him next year?
Smart enough?
Or are they stupid enough to let him go and trust this young kid who's completely unproven, who quarterbacked in a very poor quarterback system at Michigan? What do you do? I don't know the answer. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. We're not talking about it right now. I know we're up against the break, but I'm just saying. Well, let's go to break. We have a couple texts we'll get to, and then we'll talk about that. And I know you had a flag to plant and some other things.
Yes, I do.
It's a Weekend Warriors football Sunday right here on 1580 The Fanatic.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Live and local. It's fall football on The Fanatic. Catch all the live game play-by-play. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday day and night NFL games. Plus the Saturday NCAA football game of the week. It's all right here on the Valley's home for football. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
It's fall football season, and Kasai Japanese Steakhouse is doubling down, now with 2 Valley locations. When it comes to Asian cuisine, no one does it better and more authentic than Kasai, where talented teppanyaki chefs create the food, the fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse isn't just dinner, it's dinnertainment. A memorable dining experience where a delicious 7-course meal is prepared right at your table with flair. It's a perfect choice for celebrations, date nights, or a night on the town. Choose from over 30 different items and combinations of teppanyaki, Asian fusion, and innovative sushi. Happy Hour is always on fire and offered daily with specials on their Asian-inspired comfort food like Korean steak tacos, Mongolian barbecue ribs, and signature Wagyu beef sliders. Always a memorable dinner, or catch the game and a bite at the bar. At Kasai, now the 2 locations, Scottsdale Road in Thunderbird, and in Peoria at the 101 in Northern. Go to KasaiTeppen.com. That's Kasai Teppen.com, or search Kasai on your mobile phone.
Hey everybody, it's Mark Asher, back to tell you about my great friends at the Lund Mortgage Team. Did you know that the Lund Mortgage Team was founded back in 1999? That's right, they're celebrating 25 years in existence this year. And you know what you have to do to stay in business that long? You have to be good at what you do. And the Lund Mortgage Team is not just good, they are great. They have helped thousands of people save thousands of dollars over those 25 years here in the Valley of the Sun. They only lend in Arizona, and they're mortgage brokers, which means they can shop your rate around. They're not tied to just one set of rates. Mortgage rates can get crazy. They can get high. They can get low. There's good times to strike, and there's times to stay on the sideline. Let the Lund Mortgage Team be your coach, be your team leader when it comes to these huge decisions. Call 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940, or you can always check them out at lundmortgage.com. Great website with all the tools you need. Call them today. They're my great friends, and you'll love them. It's the Lund Mortgage Team.
There's going to be a lot more games that tickets get to that price. So if you want to be a part of them, you better buy season tickets. You better do it right now. You better sell it out, because we're going to have a lot more games where this state wants to show up to. Buy your season tickets. Let's make that every single week of next year. Because why would you not want to be in that environment? That's one of the most fun places to be in college football. Why would you not want to do that every Saturday?
Get your Sun Devil football tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
Download our free sports app and stay up with all the latest sports news, scores, highlights, and more. Or stream us live anywhere at 1580thefanatic.com. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, Arizona's home for sports.
You're live. Guitar's all high. Eyes up there. Eyes up there.
Weekend Warriors on 1580 The Fanatic. All right, let's quickly catch up on the text line. We have bitter Dolphin fans saying, "What? The German guy took the Browns? I vote him off the show."
All right, see you guys.
Bitter Dolphin fan. You can't,
he's very bitter.
He's German. He's a Dolphin fan, and you went against him.
Yeah, well,
Rich, I'm sorry. He'll never come back again.
See you next week.
And then we have Sports Girly on the text line saying, "If Barkley is playing, the Eagles are winning." And I agree with you. I think we all agree with you. Well, except for Ben. I think we agree with you 100%. See, she's only been following football for so long, and she's smarter than you.
Oh, she's only been following it so long. Good.
I'm just saying. Just saying.
Just keep your phone by your side.
All right.
Keep your phone.
All right, Phil, plant your flag, baby.
All right, I'm ready here. Here we go.
flag thing, we know what we're getting ourselves into.
He is all about plant flagging.
Guys, if you are the sixth person to zig when everybody else is zagging, guess what? You're zagging. You're no longer zigging. You're the one who's following the leader. So look at when you hire Deshaun Jackson to be your head coach for the football team, and you're the sixth person to hire an NFL. I'd say great, but I mean he had a moment. He had a couple moments, whatever. But yeah, an NFL football player to bring prominence to your school. I guess that's fine, but why are you the sixth person to do it? Like, after Deion Sanders has great relevance, great thing, then you're also coming down and bringing Bill Belichick. You got a few, like, Ed Reed's also been rumored in there. Michael Vick has already done this. Like, by now, I swear to God, if Beanie Wells all of a sudden gets a head coaching job down in, like, Tulum over there, and just all of a, I don't even know, Tulum State, wherever you want to go. And all of a sudden just is like, hey, well, all of a sudden we're really working the NIL deals that we got here. It's like, who are you? Like, can we give it to some people who are deserving and not just like, oh, you know what, I'll try for a season to be a head coach here. It's just such a desperate grab for prominence and everything else. Look, I'm usually like, hey, let everybody have fun, let them do what they want. But this is just such a desperate grab for, I mean, maybe, I very well could be wrong, but I'm planting my flag on just stop being the last person to the trend. You are no longer in the trend. You are no longer a trendsetter. That was maybe the first person for sure. Second person maybe. Third and on. Just move along.
Okay.
Flag
planted. My goodness.
I like it. So, anything else you want to say? I feel like there's more.
Yeah, you ended on an extremely high note, progressing up, and then it just ended. Like, where are we going?
Are we done?
That's all I got for you. I mean, I'm sure when next year, all of a sudden, Eli Manning's going to be the high school thing who's transitioning into the college state. I don't even know. It'll be absurd.
Shout out to Teddy Bridgewater though.
That's the other one. Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater. All of a sudden now, it makes you really feel bad about Hendon Hooker, right? Like he's like a guy who you're already on the fence about, and all of a sudden you still get replaced by a guy who retired. It's not even Tom Brady. You got Teddy Bridgewater. It's who?
That's true.
Yep.
So let's go back to the question that I posed, and we were talking about it on the break about the Vikings. Mm-hmm. I think since Neil is in Skull Country, we're going to focus on the Vikings for a minute. And I'd love to get Neil's take or his friend's take on it, too, if you guys want to text in. Do you think that the Vikings are smart enough to offer Sam Darnold a contract after this year? Or do they let this needle in the haystack that could be their guy for the next 5-6 years go? Sam Darnold has that rough career, but he seems to have found a home. He seems to fit really well in that offense. Sam Darnold was talented in college. I mean, I watched him at SC. The guy was an amazing quarterback. He just did not find the fit in college. I mean, in pros at all. I mean, look where he played too. So it's really bad teams.
Yeah.
So he finally found something that worked for him, and he looks amazing. So I'm going to go to Ben first. What do you think, Ben?
I hope they do. I hope he stays. I think it's a good fit. I hope he doesn't chase the money. If there's rumors that Aaron Rodgers might leave. If the Jets want to say like, hey, Sam Darnold, come over here and play with us. Like, why would you leave the Vikings to go to the Jets? Like, if you're making $50 million a year to play at the Vikings, or you're making $51 million a year to go to the Jets, I'm still taking the Vikings.
But will the Vikings be smart enough to offer this guy? He's probably earned about a $35-40 million a year contract, maybe a 1-year contract,
sure,
or maybe a 3-year contract with a 1-year out for the team. I mean, something that's like, you got to do it again one more year.
Yeah,
right?
I'm all about your legacy. Yeah, you're in the NFL. You're a starting quarterback. You're making great money. Like, okay, get some Super Bowl rings under your belt. Build a legacy.
Okay. So, Phil, before I go to you, a couple things. Chief Skoll is on the text line saying, Phil throwing down about ex-NFLers trying to break into coaching. Yeah, that's basically what he did.
It's
good summary.
Break in is going to high school. Break in is being what's his name? Trent Dilfer going down and like winning winning a high school championship. Just getting a head coaching job just because you're somebody who just had a moment in the NFL. It's kind of weird. It's awful. It's ugh.
So we got Neil's on the text line. A couple things. He says historically, when the Vikings are good, they tend to split the series with the Packers. It'll be incredibly close, but I think the Packers get it. He also says, my friend Derek and I say, yes, they'll re-sign Darnold and let McCarthy learn.
I love that.
My real friend, unlike you, Ralph. All right, well, whatever. I mean, I've known you a long time, but you're not my friend.
Yeah, if you want McCarthy to be your guy, let him sit behind Darnold for another year.
And I don't think McCarthy is the guy. I was never sold on McCarthy in college. Like I said, he played in a running back offense. He had nothing. I can't say nothing, but he had minimal to do with that national championship. It wasn't about McCarthy. It was about the running game. It was about the defense.
It was about Harbaugh. Yeah.
So it was about Harbaugh. Yeah. It wasn't McCarthy. So Phil, what do you think?
It's tough. Really, I hate to take this out, but it depends on what the number is. Like if Sam Darnold is asking for, like Brock Purdy is asking for it's like 40+ million, absolutely not. I don't care who you are. Like I will take Kirk Cousins on his third deal. I'll take Russell Wilson on a discount, just trying to spur the Steelers. I'll take a trade for Kyler Murray. I'll take JJ McCarthy. I'll take whoever you want to give me. I'll take another stab at Joe Flacco before I go to 40+ million for Sam Darnold, who's had a great year with great weapons around him and a great organization. I'm not going to go to 40+ million. If we're talking about a Geno Smith number, like what is now become 35? 35, 38, like Baker Mayfield, 30 million, around there, we have a discussion. But it's interesting. The Vikings have $76 million to play with for the cap for next year. That's just available. Not including players that you need to sign or re-sign. Obviously, free agents that you'd like to have. I'm not a part of their thing. I'll be honest, I have not seen a full amount of J.J. McCarthy in the preseason. I wasn't that impressed with him in Michigan. I don't think it's end-all, be-all. It really comes down to the number for me. $30 million, I'd be okay with bringing Sam Darnold back for like 2 years. But if he doesn't make it to the Super Bowl, I don't even think that this is a discussion. He's just priced himself out, it feels like, and he's going to go to the Raiders.
Oh, wow. Okay. Chief Skulls in the text line saying, as the resident Vikings expert, they should offer Darnold only a year because of McCarthy injury and need to learn. Plus, they'll get Daniel Jones in the cheap. What?
Yeah, they have Daniel Jones.
But he sucks.
Yeah. But he's learning right now. He's taking that year.
He's learning how to sell insurance.
25. Been in the league for how long and still learning?
All right, that's our show. Hey, Ben, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you filling in for that guy that used to be on here.
No.
Hey, everybody, enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy your games that are left. If you win, that's great. If you lose, it sucks to be you. It's a Weekend Warriors Football Sunday right here on 1580, The Fanatic.
You're out.
The Daily Blender. Weekday afternoons, 3 till 6 on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. And always